bringing kids along now, huh?
Where do you guys go to school? Yeah.
Homeschooled.
Oh, okay.
Smarter than the average bears.
I will open the front door.
It's okay.
I will open the front door.
It's okay.
I want to get some information on the table so that people don't miss it.
Oh.
Okay?
Does John Bennett have a key to this place?
No, Charlene does. She does
Charlene?
maintenance and things.
Oh.
They both do here. They have for years.
Oh, so John can come in. Okay. So why can't Carol have a key?
Just haven't made any, and
Huh?
supervisors haven't had it in the past. You're recording me?
Yeah.
The meeting hasn't started.
That's all right. I
Charlie, the
can
meeting
record
hasn't
anytime.
started.
Doesn't
The
matter.
meeting hasn't started.
It doesn't matter. I can record anytime.
Let's see, right? You can check with previous supervisors. They haven't had keys. The only reason Charlene has is because she does the maintenance inside here. And she keeps the bathrooms and everything clean for when they're used. And she also does the majority of the outside work here.
Does she get paid?
Uh,
A stipend?
I believe.
Yeah. How about John? Does he get paid?
John gets what he gets paid is what's for the same as voted on every year in a budget for his position. Whether he's a
No, but I
supervisor or
mean-
chair.
So, but the reason that he is able to come in here.
They get paid for the cutting the grass and
Oh, so he,
maintaining the flowers.
but he
and
doesn't
doing
get
all the
paid extra.
maintenance.
So he works doing maintenance on the building.
Actually, no, we bring someone else for maintenance in here. Charlene cleans. And she takes care of the outdoors and everything.
Okay.
Come on in.
We're gonna have 5. So, you got a phone? Hey.
And actually, if we get fall, the kids can move to the back of the room so citizens can have chairs.
Well, no one has any more right than anyone else to go to a meeting.
Hi, yeah, how are you? Good. Good. We have to sit here. I'm gonna try to.
You wanna sit?
Sit here.
Ernie, I want you to sit on the end. And you sit on that end.
No. How are you? I got something for you too. Yeah, like a tree. Here, this is for the taxes. I'm gonna do 09 for the taxes based upon. Came over you have a second quote. No, I have to work. So, what you have to do.
Are you saying my hat is too big?
She's a short person. She's a short person.
That's how it happens when you go to the movie theater.
People are not pleased.
Oh, my wife is sitting there.
Well, I think
My
she's
wife is sitting there.
now.
No, she was just sitting there. I'm sorry. She was. She's got her phone underneath.
There's some extra
She went to
chairs up
return
there. You
the-
can just grab one.
The camera in the car.
Set yourself up. Otherwise, there's some empty ones in there.
Talking about here. Oh, I know.
Uh-oh.
understand. I said zoom in on this thing. There's no pension or... No, it's fixed. It's really weird, you know? There's no...
Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. If everybody could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please remove your hats. Please remove your hats. Please remove your hats. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sharon? Carol? Here. John?
Here.
I'm here.
Okay. All right, our next agenda item is to review and approve the agenda. Has everybody on board had an opportunity to look at the agenda?
Can I have something added to the agenda?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Can I have something added to the agenda?
not at this point in time,
And why is that?
because the agenda's already been set. If you had something you wanted added, you should have reached out to me ahead of time.
I have reached out to you, and you said no. And I would like to know why. I mean, this agenda is supposed to be a board agenda, not a chairperson agenda. We are a three-member board, and we should work together as a three-member board. That
That's
includes
correct.
you.
That's correct. And what are you thinking wasn't added to the agenda?
I think we need to have a status of what's happening with the community fire department trucks and money, and we need to know why you won't allow public comment.
The community?
The community fire department.
So you're speaking of Springfield and
The
Westfield?
the trucks that are owned by the four communities, yes.
Not on the agenda, and so we won't be adding anything to the agenda, Carol.
Okay, and explain why you will not allow public comment. I did ask for that.
You did, and it's at the option of the chairperson whether or not to allow it. The chairperson has the right to allow people in the stands to address an issue as it's discussed, if they so choose. The previous board members in the past, maybe not John all the time, but Carl Schultz prior to him, did not allow public comment either. It's in the state statute and it is in Robert's Rules of Order that it's at the discretion of the chairperson.
So would you please, I know you don't have it with you right now, but would you please send me that quote? Because
Sure.
I didn't find it in the statutes anywhere.
I'll be happy to send that to you. And I believe I also did indicate to you that I would review month by month if we would move forward with public comment. Of course, there are several meetings a year that public comment is required. And thus, we put out a sign-up sheet because at those meetings, if you're going to vote on anything, we have the right to verify that you are actually citizens of this town. Any other comments on the agenda? Do we have a motion
I'll
to?
make a motion to approve the agenda.
I will second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Okay, you have all received in advance the June 19th regular board meeting minutes. Have you had an opportunity to review them?
Move to approve the June 19th
Second.
meeting.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is approved. At this point, I'd like to thank Debbie for taking over doing minutes on behalf of the board the last few meetings without the benefit of the clerk. All right, item number 6 on our agenda is the hiring of a clerk for the town of Westfield. As most of you know, we have been waiting for a while to see if someone would step forward. Did talk to a few people who decided not to step forward as residents of the town. As was explained to John and Carol, myself, state statutes do allow us to hire a clerk. I presented an application, a resume. The board met this week, interviewed the person who is sitting here, Brenda Peterson, and the decision was made to hire her effective immediately. Basically, she will be paid the same wage and benefits that would have been paid to a clerk who may have been elected to the position. We need to make, I believe, a formal motion to approve the hiring of Brenda Peterson.
You need to clarify that the term is a temporary position until the end of the current term.
Yes, it's a part-time position to the end of the current term, so for at this point, for our purposes, it's through 2025. And is there any further discussion?
I make a motion to hire Brenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome. This is Brenda Peterson, everyone. You will get to know her probably as we move forward, and we're excited. Debbie and I are both excited to begin her training this week so we can hand over a lot of the things that the two of us I have been doing.
Thank you.
Did you want to tell just briefly anything about yourself? No.
I work at the highway department. I've been there 15 years, almost 16 years. I've been a resident of Marquette County my whole life. I have 5 children, 4 grandchildren. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, we'll move on to the chair's report. There's been quite a few things going on, so I just kind of want to run through it. Marquette County zoning, Tom, and I always ruin his name, Free, contacted me about a town-owned parcel on Lawrence Lake being developed by a group of lake residents. We discussed this at our Lake District annual meeting, and I'm also reporting it here because the piece of property we're talking about is owned by the town. They've developed the property, cleared it out, built stairs, put in a couple piers and a platform, and they're charging people, as my understanding, to use piers, but it's only to people who live in this area that's called the preserve. And I invited Justin Fetzer to go with me to the property. I attended representing the board, he attended representing the Lake District, he's an officer on our board, and we went to see what was going on, and it's true, it's quite developed. Tom did post a notice that they were violating private property rights, and we are in the process of having the DNR come out, because we're pretty sure they have, the piers and the platform, everything have to be removed. And Tom actually was at the property today talking to neighbors. And Justin, I'm just talking about that property. Tom let me know today that he was out there today and started talking to neighbors, and he's left his business card to be given to the person who apparently built everything there and is charging a fee and everything else that's going on. So that's where we're at as of today. And so it's something we're looking into. And we'll certainly update everyone in the town as we go forward because it is town-owned property. So something we have to look at. I've received a few citizen complaints. Sorry.
Do we have other town property on the lake where this also may be happening?
I believe we do, but this was brought to our attention by a realtor selling land in that area. And I'm not aware of other areas where this is occurring, although there is one spot where we're taking a closer look at right now. I don't really have anything to report on that at this point in time. but I definitely will if I get more information. I don't think any of us on the Lake District Board were aware that we really owned that property. We were shocked. You are?
Can you tell me where that is? Where is this property?
It's an area called the Preserve. It's on Dalkey. I have a picture here. It's on Dalkey Drive, and it's in where the
Tamaracks.
the tamaracks, where all the
okay.
stumps and everything are. It's around the corner.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so we're following up
I was
on
just
it.
curious.
It was interesting to us to see how it's being developed, so this wouldn't help most of you, but it means something to me and to Justin when we look at it where the property is. So, that's one thing. Okay, back to some complaints we've received. Charlie, I got some complaints about your property in the village, indicating that you were taping a quarter to the ground in front of your business and then filming people trying to pick it up.
So what does that have to do with?
I
our town business?
reporting what was reported to me at the town level, and I explained to them that this wasn't a town matter, that it's a village matter, and that if somebody wanted to complain, that they should contact Chief Bitzke. So just making you aware that this transpired.
I fell victim to that.
What?
I fell victim to that.
You felt it. There you go. So it's true. Okay. It's not a town issue, but whatever, they felt the need to call me.
I plead the fifth.
The second issue, and these aren't in order, Baumans reached out to us about some issues they wanted to bring to the town's attention, involving the speed limit, farm signs, issues they were experiencing with tractors and cows crossing the roads and things like that, and brought it up as a safety issue. And they also brought to my attention that when county was working on their area there on the roads, that they parked their grader on top of a hayfield and it caused some issues. And kind of had suggested, it might have been nice if they were made aware ahead of time of what was happening. I had reached out to Brian Triviatowski, had him go out there and take a look. John Bennett has been pretty much covering some of the highway issues for me as I've been dealing with more clerk matters. John, could you kind of just address a little bit what happened over there?
Well, we kind of looked at that speed limit sign with the highway commissioner and determined that it was one of the least traveled roads in the township.
What road are we talking?
Fifth. So, at this time, we will not be putting any signs up for the speed limit. I mean, we'll be monitoring it as time goes along here, so it's not like we're not gonna ignore it.
And I did ask John to go out and take another look, because I had asked some questions about possibly some signage and things, and so we are gonna monitor it and take a further look. I know, you weren't happy with that response, but we haven't ignored it, okay? But just so you're aware that we are following up on it, okay? Third issue involves, actually Rachel Reitkoff, and if I'm ruining that name, somebody let me know. Rachel, are you here? She didn't know if she would make it. She's in Milwaukee today. Her and some of her neighbors are concerned about UTV and ATV travel on their road.
What road is that?
That is, the exact road is
Evergreen.
Evergreen. The speed that they're going through, the loud noises, she discussed, she wanted to bring concerns about noise issues involving that area, and question whether we had a noise ordinance here, and also discuss some other neighborhood issues there. And I just kind of wanted to bring this up because, and I mentioned this, when I looked into what our ordinances or regulations address regarding ATVs and UTVs, There was actually an ordinance in earlier 2013 that addressed this issue, and it outlined various roads that should have warning signs put up about no ATVs, UTVs, and speed issues. And then a couple months later, in 2013, there was a second ordinance, the exact same language, exact same thing. Then in 2015, there's another ordinance, same topic, but pretty much switched it over, saying that UTVs and ATVs can be used on any road or highway in the town. So I have had to turn this matter over to our town attorney for some research and moving forward. The fact that there were two in identical ordinances within a few months of each other, neither one of those was rescinded. And then all of a sudden there was another new ordinance in 2015. I'm not sure that the 2015 ordinance would be legal from a certain sense because the 2013 ordinances weren't rescinded. So I have informed her that we're following up on that. I've done a little research on the town adopting a noise ordinance. Marquette County does not have a noise ordinance. They strictly follow the state guidelines. And as far as Carol and John, I'd like us to discuss this a little bit more in the future if we even want to pursue going forward with a potential noise ordinance. This is an area where there's been many complaints over the years to the police. They may be coming at us with a signed petition by a number of people who live in that area. I don't know yet, but I think, it's something maybe we can take a look at. She had some other complaints about fireworks usage, and basically the one neighbor starts up all his chainsaws and lines them along the fence and lets them run until they run out of gas. And there's a whole lot of things going on that I kind of said, we would have to give it serious consideration, I felt, if the citizens in that area presented us with a petition to review it more. I don't know what either of you think, but I think it's something that we're going to have to take a look at. I also, once I get a response on the UTV and ATV issue, I will reach out to the council that really is in charge of overseeing all that, and it's the Marquette County ATV Club. And if we need to, we'll have them put some more signs up warning people about the speed limits and other things in that area. But I know for a fact, I've heard from a few other people that, speeding with the UTVs and ATVs has become an issue. So I will keep you guys posted. All right?
I could hardly hear you over that loud truck that just went by.
Well, I kind of thought with how nice it is out today, having the windows open and the breeze would be a little refreshing in here. It's a little stale. Okay, the next thing in my report was I've been working with various area fire departments that express interest in purchasing trucks and equipment. John, Carol, and myself agreed that we should focus initially on getting as many trucks and equipment items to local fire departments. And our thinking was that they would be using these items in mutual aid and other services to our town, not just their own. And so we have moved forward with a great deal of that. 4 trucks have been sold. Majority of the equipment, fire equipment, has been sold. Westfield Fire Department, Newchester, Newton, and then a sale facilitated by the Kilbourne Fire Department was facilitated. Let's see, the ATV and trailer were sold along with a great deal of fire equipment to Newchester. I will report that truck, I know there's several fire department people in here. Truck 181, I believe, is the one that was sold to David Carr. Truck 185 was sold to the Westfield Fire Department Services. Truck 186 was Newchester. Truck 187 was Newton. And then I don't know the number on that truck that was originally purchased from the Kilbourne Fire Department. that they sold to us, and then they facilitated the sale to a campground right by them that has 72 acres with 85% of wooded land. And the reason they referred this person to me was because of the drought we've been in and other issues that everyone are facing, and they thought it was important to have a vehicle on that property. Now, the one that was purchased there is one of the trucks that we were unable to get titled. But I have been successful in tracking down the paperwork necessary to title that vehicle. It was purchased with full knowledge that there was no title, and it's been indicated that that vehicle will not be used on roads or highways. It's strictly for that area there. So far, through June 30th, we have collected $17,675. Those monies were deposited into the operational account and applied directly for fire protection services. So any monies we were taking in are going right back to the fire protection services account.
When you say fire protection services account, I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, there's a fire services protection account in your monthly treasurer's report every month.
Well, I see when it says fire protection plan.
No, it's
Versus
fire
operation.
protection services.
Well, the reason why I'm saying that is because what I found that you don't have is a copy of the resolution 2014-01 that created the fire protection plan. It's very specific on what, we have $25,000 that's levy that comes in every year, and the $25,000 has to be used for, $8,000 is used for brushing, you use it for fire gear, can use it for major repairs to the trucks, and anything that's not spent is supposed to be saved, put into reserve so that we can use it for a future purchase.
I'm aware of that.
Okay, well, so you can't charge the operations money to that account.
We're not charging operation monies. You have a fire protection services account statement in front of you. I know Debbie gives it to us every month. And those monies are applied
I have
directly
nothing
to
here that
that.
says, I have nothing here that says fire protection service. I have fire protection plan, I have budget, and I have dues, so I'm not sure what you're talking about.
We have it in mine.
Did I miss putting in yours, Carol?
Let's see.
I got fire protection plan, regular fire department budget. Are you missing the budget? Or what are you missing?
You look at, I don't know what I'm missing, I mean, I'm just telling you what I see. I don't
Okay,
see-
it says fire department budget, fire protection plan. When I say fire protection services, this is the account that the monies are directly going in.
So the fire protection services, you're talking about the plan? Okay,
Yes.
so then, then that's fine.
It's always
That's
there.
fine to have the sales income going in there, but it's not fine to pay for the village out of that account, because it's not part of the ordinance.
We're not
Resolution.
discussing that at this point in time. I'm making a report on where the monies are going so that everybody knows where the monies are going.
Who determined value?
Actually, we worked off the value on several of them based upon this is my financial stuff. Let me step this off over here, back over here. I spoke with the federal government department that originally handled the providing of these vehicles to the fire department, got some information from them, and we did some research on Wisconsin surplus, and other people have put input in, other fire chiefs, and a couple other people as well. So we looked at what items we're selling for, we established a range, and then we did a bill of sale.
We
And that's how we've been
who?
going forward.
So tell us what the prices were that they paid for the trucks. I think that's what.
If I can finish my report, I'll provide that.
Okay.
Okay. The total monies collected, including checks through today's date, is $26,065. We are still awaiting payments from Montello, Newton, and Oxford, who have revisited and picked up a few other equipment items in the amount of $1,275. The Westfield Fire Department picked up one of the trucks and a lot of equipment and apparel. The board members have been provided with inventory lists as we've gone through this process.
What's the value that's being put on that, and when, is the village gonna pay for it, or is it given to them?
The village is gonna pay for it through the next contract that will be negotiated. It will be all credited back to the town of Westfield so that we aren't paying out significant additional funds for fire protection services going forward. The other thing I wanted to mention before I mention prices is that we did receive a thank you card. We donated earplugs to the Marquette County Fair for when they're running their tractor pulls. And we donated pens, pencils, and some other miscellaneous basic items were donated to the Westfield School District. So, the David Carr vehicle 181 was sold, as we know, by Jim Johnson for the total amount of $3,500. Truck 185, which Westfield Community Fire Department got, is $6,500. New Chester paid $14,000. They took truck 186 and other items plus some equipment. Town of Newton paid $3,600 for truck 187. And Kilburn Fire Department, in conjunction with the Wisconsin Dells Campground, paid $4,500. And I do not have a truck number on that. That's the truck that had the silver tank. I did not have a number. That's a truck that has no title.
Is it 183?
183.
It's 183? Thank you. And have any paperwork on that truck? Nothing. Okay? There's been a lot of interest expressed in the 1997 Ford F-250 pickup with a water tank pump, new tires, and a full tank of gas. Kind of tossing around the idea, which I just mentioned to you guys on the board, of selling it for approximately $3,500 to $4,000. This truck is currently going for $1,900 to $2,200 without the tank, the pump, the newer tires, and the gas. And those price quotes were received from the Portage Ford dealer. And he commented that when he gets in something like that, they usually sell within 2 or 3 days. Problem with this vehicle is we do not have a title again. I have, however, been successful in identifying the previous owner, who lives in Wisconsin Dells, and I have sent him a letter asking him to contact me to see if he's willing to obtain a replacement title. Then we could sell the truck with title. It would cost us additional money to do all of that. It's almost one, because of the amount of interest from different citizens in the area, that I don't know, we can discuss if we want to put it out front in the front of the firehouse with, for sale signs or whatnot. That's, I guess, one area you can look at it based upon. I had one person offer $150 and another person offered $500, then another one for $1,000 if it had the title. But in investigating the value of this vehicle further, it's worth more.
What year is it?
It's a 1997 Ford F-250.
Oh, yeah, it's worth a lot more now.
That's why I won't take a low offer like that, okay? So,
What are the miles on that, Sharon?
oh, it's terrible. 215,000+ miles. That's the one drawback. You still are gonna be able to sell it for, but the interest has been, pretty much local, and certainly we'd like to try to keep it that way, so. The other two vehicles, one is the 2000 Freightliner, and then that's the bigger truck. And the other one is the rescue vehicle. Those are the two remaining in the building. And our intention is to put those up on a surplus site. Especially the Freightliner, it was purchased for a significant amount of money. There were a great deal of repairs made to it. Our best chance of recouping anywhere near what's been put into that truck would be to set a base dollar amount on surplus and let people bid and see how high we can go. The rescue vehicle, I've been informed, is pretty much, you know, something that's popular with smaller fire departments. And so I don't anticipate that we'll have troubles with that one. Then my thought is to put a couple of the other items that are fire equipment up on surplus, but kind of having a rummage sale for the town. For anybody who's interested, there are a lot of items in there that would be good for anyone to use. Lights and fire extinguishers and tools and extension cords. Just so many things that we would be looking at, you know, kind of setting up on tables and, you know, setting a date or two where citizens of the town could come in and look and see if there's any items that they'd be interested in purchasing.
Have an auction. Have an auction.
Well, if you saw some of the things, I don't know that I would go that route. Some items almost brand new, some items very, very old. And I guess what we'd like to do is set some of the pricing on the items and see how that would go, but that's not something I'd say we wouldn't rule out. We have to talk about it more. It's just ideas we're tossing around. So that's an update on the equipment. Certainly more than happy to discuss any of that with anybody. So all you need to do is give me a call, open to suggestions. I want to address a false 9/11 call made recently. Currently under investigation by the Marquette County Sheriff's Department. I'm really not going to get into details because it, again, is under investigation by the Sheriff's Department, the DA's office, and a couple other departments, primarily because State Patrol was called, Police Department was called, a couple of Sheriff's Vehicles Department were called, and there are laws against this type of thing occurring and fines that can be assessed. So it has been turned over to the town attorney, and I will provide updates as it moves forward, but just so you know that there's an active investigation.
And what do you expect the attorney to do?
What do I expect the attorney to do?
Right, when you.
Well, to follow up, wait, I'm gonna answer your question. To follow up, Carol, and I'm trying not to get in details because it does involve you,
I don't
Carol.
want the details, I just want to
Okay.
know, I just want people to know that you're spending money on something that is not necessary.
That's not true. This involves the town itself. 3 different fire departments that were represented in a building here.
You weren't going to
And
go into details,
accusations,
so
so-
stop.
That's why it's going to a town attorney, Carol, because we have to make sure that our legal rights are protected.
You could have just left, just leave it to the sheriff's department to decide. Why'd you have to get involved?
Because there were other agencies involved with responding,
No, it's
sir.
retaliation
Okay,
is what
the next
it is.
item is National Exchange Bank. There's been a
Retaliation.
great deal of misinformation being supplied, initiating with a Facebook post. The facts of the matter are that on May 15th, when the resolution was passed to discontinue the donation account, National Exchange Bank was notified. It was National Exchange Bank who put a hold on that bank account, not the volunteer fire department, not me. The bank put a hold on that account. And corporate counsel for the bank and our town attorney worked together. They discussed and determined how to move forward. There were certain documents that were exchanged. On June 27th, our town attorney was contacted by a gentleman by the name of Mike Backus from their corporate office, indicating that things should be finalized by the end of that week. On Thursday, June 29th, General Manager Cassie Busalaki called me and informed me that Debbie, as treasurer, and I had to stop in at the bank, which we did. On June 30th, we met there. They had us sign some papers to officially close the account. Those monies were then directly transferred by National Exchange Bank to the town of Westfield's operations account. Those monies were applied immediately to the fire protection plan, fire protection service plan, whatever account, whatever you want to call it. The amount was $13,902.99. There were never any monies, checks, or anything that passed between the bank and Debbie's hands as treasurer or myself, and that is what transpired. Nothing more, nothing less.
You also said in an email that you were gonna do an audit.
The donation, the financial accounts for the donation account are being forwarded to an outside auditor for review.
And
Yes.
according to the statutes, they can be audited at the same time that the town funds are audited. So is the town...
According to-
Hang on, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Is the town also subject to audit?
Not at this point in time.
So you're violating the statutes?
According to
You're
the
violating statutes?
resolution
Hang on,
and the motions of the previous town boards, that account was subject to audit every year. Not at the same time as the whole town.
you gave me a resolution list and it's not in there, so please give me a copy of the resolution that you're talking about. Because Wisconsin statute 66.0608 says, audit the fire department funds at the same time you audit the town.
The resolution is one you're very well familiar with,
What's the number?
that allowed the donation account in the first place, requiring that specific reports and documents be submitted. At that same town board meeting in 2016, a motion was made by Jeff Buchholz, and I believe, was Pat on in 2016 already?
No.
Whoever was in place at that point in time, that those funds were also supposed to be audited yearly, and that you were required to provide bank reconciliations and details of receipts and expenditures and income, which did not occur.
Well,
So it is being forwarded out of town, not audited by anybody here, and they're gonna take a look at those records.
So how much is this gonna cost us and what's the benefit to us? I mean, they're your taxpayer dollars that are gonna be used.
That's true.
And
That's true.
Well, why
I
would
think
we
the
do this?
benefit to the citizens of their town are knowing how those monies were spent and how they should have been.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes,
Thank
wow.
you.
Thanks,
Thanks.
You're
Sharon, for
welcome.
nothing.
That's a real thank you for us.
Mhm.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
The reports
So-
on how the money was spent were all created, so that what you said about them not proving how the money was spent is just a lie.
I will not get into details as to how
That's
those
fine, move on to the
records
next,
were
move on to the next
I
item.
certainly will, Carol. Total funds transferred and applied to fire protection services on behalf of the citizens of this town to date are $39,967.99. There will be significant additional funds coming back to the town and the citizens of this town to go back into the account, the operational account, in specific to be used for fire protection services.
No, be careful, it's fire protection plan. This
Carol, I'm
resolution,
moving forward. All fire department
Follow the rules.
insurance coverages were canceled. All policies for the fire department were canceled.
Including
The
the
coverage
trucks
for
that
the
we still have?
firehouse, the trucks, and all equipment inside the building were transferred to the town's insurance policy. At present, we are sitting on several $1,000s of credit issued by the insurance company, which we are gonna hold as a credit with them until we complete the sale of the additional trucks and other equipment. And then those monies will be refunded to the town. Those monies will go into the operational account because it was the town operational account that paid for those insurance policies. The last item in my report is to give you a Westfield Fire Department update. I did attend the village board meeting last week, Wednesday. I plan to attend every village board meeting going forward, and I am being provided a copy of the fire department report being prepared by their chief, Jason Stoffaker. And so I just wanted to give you a bit of an update. There were 4 fire calls in the town of Westfield during the month of June. There was a wildland fire, a report of a gas smell. There was a second wildland fire, and then there was a car accident. And for those of you who might be interested, there were 170 hours logged by the Westfield Fire Department assisting with the Coloma wildfire. There was a point report given on the Cant Hill flames. 1 Westfield volunteer firefighter was checked for smoke inhalation and immediate release. And then Jason Stoffaker spoke about an organization, a group called MABUS, which provided several strike teams to the Coloma wildfire, which was, as everybody's probably heard, out of control. They were able to save several buildings, and he reported on, some joint trainings and other repairs, and that they actually had 18 calls in the month of June. So that was that.
So you plan on doing this report every month, because you told me I should find the information on the website.
I'm giving you a basic report.
Let me finish my question.
Sure.
You told me I should find everything on the website. Well,
Yes.
But when I look to the website, it has a very limited amount of information compared to what you just gave us. So do you plan on giving us this report every month?
I think I would like to keep all the citizens aware of what services are being provided by the Westfield Fire Department. I think that's pretty reasonable to offer that. I don't have control over when and how they place information on their website. It's the village that oversees that. And but I was satisfied with what their report was. Okay, we're going to move on to the treasurer's report.
You missed LP tank refueling on your agenda.
No, I had it on there, sorry. Not really anything to report. We could go into another contract with them, but at this point in time, I think we'd be better off kind of doing it on an as-needed basis. There is significant fuel in there at the present time, so we did not do a summer fill, and that's basically what I was going to say. Really didn't have anything miscellaneous otherwise to bring up. Sorry.
Just wanted to add, Sharon, we have $340.34 left
In
over.
credit.
In credit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, summer fill, you can save some money.
From Crawford, we have $340, and the tank right now is 48% full.
It's almost 50%. So
Yeah.
we'll take a look at that.
Right?
About 35 right now.
No, now it's $1.19.
Okay. Treasurer's report? Thank you, John.
Previous balance was 323,532.43. Checks and payments of 46,695.61. Ending balance 315,595.25. We've got uncleared transactions of $2,565.
Is that 29 cents or 25?
29, thank you. 2% dues has a 0 balance right now. And
What do you mean, you close the account?
no, we transferred the money to the general account to cover some of the fire department fees.
which is not allowed.
Yes, it is, Carol, we're not gonna get into that right now. I have
Sharon-
referred you to the person that you could call and
I
verify
did.
how we are using
I
2%
did. The
dues.
2% money that is in that account is money that was unspent from prior year activity. So when you get the 2% dues money in, and this happened prior to this, it comes in and you're allowed to use it for prevention service. Would you listen?
I am.
You're allowed to use it for prevention services, for education. So if you do like an open house, you can do for that. And if there's any money that's unspent, it gets put into reserve for future fire truck or equipment purchases. So the money that was put into that account should be used for fire equipment purchases and not for operation of the village fire department.
That is incorrect. Let's move forward, please.
Okay. The contingency.
Wait a minute. You're saying it's not correct. Would you please go look at the fire dues documents that came out of DSPS? I did check with them.
DSPS has provided further clarification to me and the Westfield Fire Department that 2% dues can indeed be applied to the fees that we pay to them for fire protection services.
In writing?
Huh?
In writing?
Probably.
No, you said
Village
that they,
of Westfield got the funds, they confirmed. Their attorney, Jesse Spankowski, confirmed that at the meeting at May 18th.
That's fine for the new money that comes in.
That's
The
not
old-
true.
The old money that's already here, it's ours to use for fire, for equipment, period.
That is not true, Carol.
Well, you get something in writing from DSPS before I believe you. And
Okay,
in the meantime, it should be changed.
it's not going to be changed. The monies have already been forwarded to the Westfield Fire Department under this current terms fire protection plan. The new 2% dues, which were mailed on June 12th of this month, will go into that account and will be negotiated going forward. The same as the ones that were in there already. And we may actually close that account, I don't know. We don't need to have 2% fire services, fire protection. whatever you call
DSPS is
it.
the one who made us create it, so I think you better get.
That's not
permission from
true.
them.
So we will move forward. Go ahead.
Contingency fund, previous balance was 38,623.03. Deposits and other credits 64.84, with the ending balance of 38,687.87.
And the $5.02 fee, is that because we have a zero balance?
I'm not sure why they charged us that. I don't think they should be charging us that with as much business as we do with that bank, but I don't know.
They're calling it a maintenance fee.
They called it a service
A
charge.
service charge maintenance. fee.
So what happens next month? If there's no money in the account?
The check that we're getting, or that's probably already in the bank, will go into the contingency fund. Because we should have that in there now, I would think. I think it's for July, actually.
We don't have confirmation that the funds have actually been received. And we are gonna check into why they're charging a maintenance fee on that account.
And that's what.
Does anybody have any questions on it?
Yes, how do we get the budget report accurate?
Is it not accurate now?
No, let me, you did send it out and you did correct it. And when it came back corrected, it's still not accurate. When I look at, this is what I don't have the detailed schedule and I don't have QuickBooks, so I'm not sure what went wrong, but I can tell things are wrong because if you have the year-to-date balance at the end of April, as, let's just say it's $100,000, and if we have vouchers processed for April of $25,000, then the ending balance should then be $125,000. So that doesn't happen on either the April or the May. And I can tell when I look at the expenses that you have I think the 19,300 payment created problems for how to account for it, because it's showing as a, where did I see? I saw 19,003 as being in the fire operations line, and then I also saw where you're putting it into some other amounts in operations line, some in the protection plan line, and it's like, it's not making sense to me. Like why we would have fire protection plan going up by 19,300. So I think you've got duplicate expenses in here. So I'm thinking that there may be an issue with it, that maybe we need to hire an accountant to help you fix this.
Actually, I believe Dawn has been assisting you.
I asked for
Not with this.
I asked for an accountant to come in and see if we can't figure out a way of getting this correct and maybe helping you to figure out how to do the mix, because the Excel spreadsheets here are Excel spreadsheets, and there's a lot of errors that can be made on it. The QuickBooks is not as friendly in this regard, so you're having to do some manipulation of numbers, and I think you may need to have some help, professional help, to.
I can see that too, because Brenda is an accountant, right? I can maybe see if she could maybe help me with some of that.
Okay, and I also know that Jamie is, I don't know, do you have experience with QuickBooks? Okay.
I did go through, all the way from January through June, and I made a category, I just wrote it on paper. I made a category for each thing, for each month, so I made sure that everything was accounted for in here. But I can put that on Excel, I didn't bring that, because it's just me, my scribbles.
Right, but you understand that this is, Excel spreadsheet needs to reconcile somehow to QuickBooks, so we know that the total amount on QuickBooks is also the total amount on here. Because what you're doing is, all you're doing is you're changing the distribution within.
And you have suspicions that it's not accurate information?
Correct. I mistakes I know are being made.
How do you know? Do you have examples? What are you basing this on?
Because I'm looking here and I'm seeing fire protection plan increased by 19,300. And there's no way that that should have gone into fire protection plan. Because you also are putting it into you're putting the cost into fire protection operation, and you've got something else up here called from 2% dues. So you're putting it in twice.
That could be, I'll have somebody help me with it.
Okay. And so.
I
when
think
you-
Brenda and her will be working a lot more closer.
So when
on
you
that.
get a completed report, can you please send it to me?
It'll be sent to everyone on the board. Any other questions on the financial report?
Let me see. The registration fee trust, the replacement title for the fire truck should come out of operations, not fire protection plan. And the extinguishers should be coming out of operations and not the fire protection plan, if you're gonna follow the resolution.
Extinguishers? Did we buy extinguishers?
We did at one point,
Or earlier in the year?
yeah, in April. So, we can take a look at that.
And then how do we get a resolution on what happens with the 2% dues money?
How do you get that?
Resolution on what happens with the 2% dues, that she needs to know what to do.
I'll have DSPH reach out to you, and they can provide an
I
explanation.
want something in writing. I want
That's
something, because
That's fine.
what I
We
have to
already
do is,
discussed this, Carol. I said that's fine.
I just want to confirm that I'm gonna get something in writing from you.
The whole board will get something in writing confirming it.
Not
The
an
whole
email.
board, not just
Hang on.
you.
I don't want an email from you. I want a document that's signed off by DSPS.
You were getting an email from me with any document I received attached as a scanned PDF.
Because I have 2% dues documents already.
I'm sure you do, but so do I. So we will resolve it, hopefully to your satisfaction, Carol. Any other questions on the treasurer's report? A motion to move forward? I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Review and authorize monthly vouchers. Let's see, get that report out here.
That's on the materials.
Yeah, I know it's part of here. Wait, I have another. This is all your financials. Let's see. Okay. This one here. Okay.
I would like to see the voucher for the lawyer. And I asked for a copy of it, so can I get a copy?
She has a copy, sir.
I brought you a copy.
That isn't automatic. You said it's automatic, but it hasn't been automatic in the past, so I'm just asking. What I would like, I think what would the public.
Here, I think, let's start with the vouchers here, and then we can look at them while you're having your discussion, Carol. Let me have the vouchers.
I think the public needs to know what we're spending our money on. So when you're looking at the vouchers, would you please say who are the vouchers to, the amount and what it's for?
Do that.
Sure. I ordered business checks from National Exchange Bank. They took them out of the account at $326.80. We had the notary here on site, that was $400. Town web design, to get everything up and going, is $18.15.
Can I ask a question on that one specific?
The town web.
The town web. You said that it had to be paid ahead of time because it was due before today. What is the date of the invoice? And what's the due date?
Let's see, it doesn't really say on here.
Doesn't provide a due date. Here you go, right here.
It was due 6/27/2023.
And when did we request the service?
Our
think-
last board meeting.
Well, when did we request the service from town web? Because the town web proposal says the term of the contract is for 3 years, and the first year's fee will be invoiced the day after the proposal is signed and is due 60 days after invoicing. So that doesn't agree with what is in the invoice as far as I can tell.
The proposal was made ahead of time because I researched various website companies. So when I contacted them after the last town board meeting, when it was approved that we move forward with the website, they request their fee for the first year and for setup at the time that we begin setting up a website with them. And so those fees were paid, and we are covered through June of 2024 under the contract we entered into, and then the second and third years, which we approved at the last board meeting. So yes, it was paid, so that we could start the initial design of the
I'm just asking
website.
a question.
No, which is fine.
It was paid, but it wasn't paid according to the proposal. So that's why it was.
It was paid according to the timeline necessary so that we could begin the design of the website.
Should I continue?
Go ahead.
Marquette County Highway Department, $2,082.35. News publishing, $157.75. That covered, board meeting adjourn notice,
That's the board of review.
a board of review, adjourn notice, part-time clerk ad, another part-time clerk ad, and then liquor applications, they must have to post those.
You have to publish for liquor licenses.
Recycling, $1,200 to Jeremy Albright. Municipal law and litigation, $5,955. That's for attorney fees. I have a check in here for $93.26 for toner and paper. Buckles Contracting, $170 for fixing the sink and one other thing in the fire department.
The men's restroom.
Men's restroom. Adams Columbia Electric, $50.47. Schwartz Insurance, $880, which there'll be a credit on. And then Sharon has a voucher in here for $399.12 for miscellaneous supplies, trainings, postage, etc. And then Marquette Adams, we have a credit of $769. And Westfield BP. And Westfield BP, we still have a credit, and,
How are we gonna get that money back, because we'll never.
well, it's already gone down to 60, oh,
No, here
how much is it there?
One's 48.
Yeah, I just got one saying that the credit is now 69 something, so I'm not sure where
Based
that
on
money
what?
went. I got a bill for July, and it says,
But we don't have a fire department.
I know, so I don't know who put
Who
gas
gassed
in
up
what.
and did it? We'll have to check into that.
Somebody used some of the money, I don't know how or when, It just says this is the credit.
I do know that in the past, we've had issues with the confusion at the station between the village versus the town. So I think what we need to do is to follow up on that and find out who did it, get our credit, and then request that check be refunded to us.
Which we intend to do.
That would be good.
Well, it's been sitting here for longer than it should have.
So the total amount for the vouchers for July, June? No, July, is $11,610.10.
Whoa. I also have a question on what happened to check number 6511.
What do I have on the vouchers?
Nothing.
In front of me.
There's nothing on the sheet, Debbie, that's what I'm asking.
Do you have your paperwork from the previous month here? Or not?
Yeah, I don't have the vouchers, I don't have it.
Someone just tell me the check.
There was a check returned.
Right, and that was voided last month.
Okay, so that's not it?
I don't believe so. Well, I'll tell you what, why don't you just check on it and send me an email?
6511?
6511, yes.
Okay, do we have a motion to move forward with authorizing the monthly vouchers in the amount of 11,000?
I have one more question on
Sure.
you've got, you're paying almost $6,000 in legal fees for the month of July, or for the month of May and part of June.
Mm-hmm.
You're still calling the attorney. We've spent almost $10,000 on attorney fees just this year alone, and there was zero spent on attorney fees for the 6 years I've lived here. What are we gonna do to get this under control?
Good question.
Well, I think, Carol, it is smart of this town board at this point in time to make sure that every step of the way through a lot of these procedures involving the discontinuance of the town of Westfield Fire Department be done legally every step of the way. This bill also includes charges for your attorney, private attorney, to be contacting our town attorney for legal advice.
What are you talking about? I don't have a private attorney contacting.
I'm looking over here. We are responding to inquiries by attorney in the town of Westfield who has contacted our attorney. And there have been things that have arisen that I am going to make sure are done legally every step of the way.
So here.
And I will protect the interests of the citizens of the town, not just the interests of former volunteer firefighters, that we are doing things correctly. And as long as these questions and issues arise, for example, the recent 911 issue, I will continue to use the town attorney to make sure that things are done correctly and legally.
You've got in here request for township bylaws, request for background information on banking practices. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff in here.
There are things in here that do tie in with the closure of the bank account and other issues. Looking into the bylaws, there were questions asked about the fact that none were located and the number of years of records that are missing. So I did address those in the case we had to somehow attempt to dig deeper. As you recall, you asked for ordinances and resolutions. We had a citizen's request for a copy of the town bylaws, a public records request. I have the right to make sure that we are handling things the correct way. And I will continue to do that.
They don't all require the use of an attorney.
I disagree with you, Carol.
Get your pocketbooks ready. Bill's gonna be $20,000 by the end of the month, or the year.
And I will say, if this issue continues to continue and other ones, Carol, I will continue to reach out to the town attorney to make sure that our interests are covered and that we are doing things appropriately based upon the law.
Appropriately according to Sharon's law, not
Not
necessarily the
not
statutes.
town attorney's the one who's responding, Carol. And, you know, you made a statement that you know how to read and held up a book, but you don't know how to interpret the laws. And that's the attorney's job. And so I will continue to reach out to the attorney to make sure that we are protected. Any other questions? Any further discussion?
Make the motion to approve the vouchers.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
And we'll move on to old business. Website update. I was merely going to let everybody know that I have been in contact with the website developers. We are having an online onboard meeting about that to outline the various pages we would like to have available to the citizens, which will include your opportunity to download and view minutes, financial reports, budget information, history of the town, and updated news for its members. And it's been a fantastic tool, and because Justin is here this time, and can you just say a couple words about the advantages that our citizens will have?
Sure. Hi. The website idea is probably actually pretty good. I don't know much about anything technology-wise except for simplicity of it. So imagine you're at the doctor's office or wherever you're at and you're wondering, oh, what the hell's going on at the township today? You could literally just pull it up and look, and up-to-date information, well, if it's up-to-date, it should be there. Or if you had a question about today's meeting, for instance, next week, whatever, you go back, look at the minutes and such. It is, I think, a right path to go forward with the website. It works on the Lake District. It works pretty well, so I think that is something that should be looked into further.
Well, we are moving forward, and actually one of Brenda's assignments is going to be with working and developing that Facebook page as well, seeing as she will be the primary person, updating documents and reports and everything to that website for ease of the citizens to be able to download at any point in time. What we'll probably do is put current year and maybe 2 or 3 years previous. The older records will be archived so that at any point in time, depending on who the clerk is, Brenda, whomever, it will be easy to locate them instead of relying on paper copies and things shoved in boxes.
Who is on the design committee to say this is what we want the website to look like, this is the information you want to have out there?
There's not really a committee.
So who's making the
Brenda's the
decisions?
one who's going to be working a lot on the website. And basically, if you look at the proposal, we've agreed to have so many pages listed, and we're going to obviously list the pages that are necessary. Contact information, meeting minutes, agendas, resolutions and ordinances, and then of course anything tied in with monies, monthly
So-
reports and budgets.
So you're the one who's going to be making the determination, you and Brenda, and we have no input into what is out there.
What do you think should be on it? I haven't
Well,
heard
one
you
of the
make
thi-
any comments other that you don't like it, so.
I never said that, I never made that comment. What, the website is good as long as it's maintained properly. You have information out there that's timely. I can go to the district website, and yes, I found a lot of information there, but I also need to have up-to-date information. And there are places where it's not up-to-date in the district website. So you have to have the right person developing it and then maintaining it.
And we've determined I'm gonna be working with her.
So that means
It's
I
part of her
have,
job.
so I have no input or,
If you would
Annie,
like to.
would you
if
stop,
would
I'm
like to-
talking.
Carol, if you would like to suggest a page or make a suggestion on the website, feel free to go ahead and do so. No one is stopping you from doing that.
Can we have a complaint page?
No, Because it's not gonna be used as a political tool.
All right.
It's gonna be used as a method of
You're a
sharing
political tool.
information with you.
Yeah, suggestions, recommendations.
You can reach out to any board member at any point in time and make suggestions or, if you have a complaint, just like many of the citizens have been doing. You're free to do that at any time.
What's the website gonna be called?
That, they have to set up the domain name, but you'd be able to do a research for Town of Westfield and it should pop up. And,
When do you anticipate being able to do that?
they say 4 to 6 weeks it'll be active. Okay, fire truck and equipment sale update. I really probably already provided all of that to you in my monthly report. I could have waited, but had a lot of information that I wanted to get in, and I thought it was, timely there. If a citizen has a question, I would be open to that if you raise your hand, and certainly willing to listen to anything you might have to say that wasn't already reported on the equipment and the fire trucks. Anyone?
I thought it was in the.
Wait a minute, what, excuse me? You are? I want
Keith Vanderbilt.
Keith Vanderbilt.
I thought in the last board meeting we passed that the equipment was going to be sold on a website like Wisconsin Surplus, not just divvied out.
We didn't divvy out, we agreed, we discussed it, that we would
Wisconsin
attempt
Surplus
to.
as bidding.
Yes, sir.
There was no bidding here.
Because we moved forward with attempting to provide trucks and equipment to local fire departments that would use those vehicles and that equipment still in this town and
You could
locally.
have got a lot more from Wisconsin Surplus. A lot more.
Not necessarily, so
All
that,
baloney.
excuse me?
You don't know, I do.
You do not have the floor,
Oh,
all right?
fine.
Again, we had somebody look into these different things and we can agree to disagree
Yeah,
that
right.
somebody might have done it one way or another. I didn't benefit personally, nor did anybody on this board. But US citizens will benefit from the fact that equipment and trucks will still be used in this area.
So where are the life jackets that you took, if you didn't benefit?
They're still there.
You brought them back?
Yeah. Where's the inventory from all the equipment you guys took out of the building? We'll just leave it at that. No comment needed. All right, we'll move up to the next item, new business. Board of Review. There are certain documents that are required that we have available to citizens when we hold the Board of Review on August 7th. These are strictly documents that have been provided to me through Board of Review training and by the Wisconsin Towns Associations that were developed by them. Merely a matter of going in and adjusting the name, so Town of Westfield, Marquette County, those types of things. 2 of them are voted on as motions as ordinances. They're only good for this Board of Review this year. So the next time there's a Board of Review, they will provide the documents that we are obligated to provide. The first one is an ordinance relating to the confidentiality of information about income and expenses requested by the assessor in property assessment matters in the town of Westfield. All of the board members have been provided with copies of each of these documents in advance. Again, these were drafted by attorneys with the Wisconsin Towns Association and provided to towns, villages, or cities that are going through revaluation years. Is there any question on this ordinance?
Can you tell me when the assessor would be requesting information regarding income and expenses?
I think you would have to address that to the assessor. All I know is this is an ordinance we are required to adopt for the town of Westfield. You can certainly ask him yourself. Reach out to him. He has provided everyone with his email address and telephone number. Do we have a motion to move
Oh, we
forward
have
on
to
this?
make a motion to approve the ordinance number 2023-04.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We'll have to sign off on it this evening. Okay. Another ordinance, not necessarily an order, but an ordinance to appoint alternate members to the Board of Review. Again, this is another document we are required to have. Every time you have a Board of Review, you are supposed to have 1 or 2 alternates in place. That covers the fact if someone is ill, unable to attend, say for somebody, if they're related to me, obviously I couldn't be on the Board of Review, that would be a conflict of interest. So I reached out to 2 citizens of our town, one happened to be Debbie because she is on the board, not voting board, but on the board for the town, an elected official. I also reached out to Laura Payne based upon her knowledge of citizens and other people in the town and her experience dealing with election committee issues and whatnot. So those are the 2 people I have assigned to this ordinance. It's pretty basic. It's just saying if something happens, something's wrong, they will be present during Board of Review to step in and fill someone's place.
So, I have a question, Paige, so you're saying that they would fill in if I was sick, for instance?
Yes.
Or if someone was related to me, are there any other instances where they would have to fill in?
Sure. Any citizen can come in front of the Board of Review and ask for a substitution to be made on the Board of Review. You can do that for 1 person, 1 time. And so it's important to have alternates present. Yes, Justin?
What is the Board of Review? What's the purpose? What's it do? I don't know.
Well, the Board of Review is actually the members of the board, the voting members of the board. So you had open book last week. There were quite a few people who came for open book to discuss their taxes. If they were unhappy with that response from the town assessor, or even if they didn't come to open book, they can request a review in front of the board. The board is responsible for making sure that the assessor's book, so to speak, property book, is accurate. We have to check for duplicates, all these other things we have to look for. But if somebody's not happy with Mr. Blader's assessment, they can come in front of the board and state their case. Each hearing has to be recorded. There's a great deal of questions. There's scripts that are provided for the clerk, for the chairperson, and people have to be sworn in. It's an official process.
August 7th,
Yes,
time,
6 to 8.
PM.
And if we get enough people who show up that we have to schedule another Board of Review, you continue it from day to day until every citizen who has an objection has the opportunity to be heard.
But if you're gonna go to Board of Review, you have to make sure that you filled out the proper paperwork, because if you didn't fill out proper paperwork, then you send it home.
2 of those documents on that table, as I mentioned when most of you came in, are available right there.
So
If
the
you have-
objection to real estate property assessment is the one I have to fill out?
Both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are instructions. If you're not sure what to do, reach out to me, but those documents have to be submitted 48 hours in advance of the Board of Review hearing. There is also a waiver form you can get in the event there was some reason that stopped you from reaching out within that 48-hour period, where you can contact me and the Board of Review will decide whether to accept that, a waiver of advance notice. So it's a very formal process. I had to go for training for it this year and never been through it, so I think the only one on the board at present is probably Mr. Bennett, who has done several board reviews over the years.
It is a very formal process. It has to be tape recorded so that if it goes to a court hearing, that you've got the tape of the proceedings happening. And if you're gonna come in and appeal, you have to make sure that you have some proof, written, some kind of definitive proof that your assessment is wrong. So for example, you have an assessment, an appraisal. So if the appraisal comes in, the amount that's significantly different than your assessment, then you have a chance of having adjustments made. But you have to have some very definitive proof.
So this ordinance to appoint alternates, I'd like to move forward on if we can have a motion.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-03.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, that ordinance passes. These will be signed this evening and they should be posted within the next day or two.
And where do you post them?
All 3 sites,
Well,
until we have a website. They're going to be posted at Tall Pines, they're gonna be posted at Thalkers and Thalkers that way, and they'll be posted here. It's not the best system, but it's what we've been using for years, and we'll continue with that until the website goes live.
that's where the meeting notice should have been posted, but it wasn't done, so that's why I'm asking. Just to confirm.
They were posted. I can't speak to what gets taken down at Thalkers.
I have a picture of the board out here. Meeting notice for tonight was not posted on the board out there.
It's out on the board out there.
It wasn't there yesterday morning.
Carol, it was posted. All right, we're gonna move on. These next 2 are just policies. They're 2 policies, again, drafted outside of this town. And one is a board of review policy on the procedure for sworn telephone or sworn written testimony requests. So say, for example, you're somebody who lives out of town, comes here to visit, weekends or whenever you can get up here, but you still want to have an opportunity before the board of review. You can, we have a policy in place that explains how to do it. And basically we're gonna post this policy, letting people know that you have this option. Pretty straightforward. We have a motion to move forward.
Make that motion to approve the sworn telephone ordinance.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay. The last policy, again, this is the last one having to do with the Board of Review. It's called Board of Review Policy on Procedure for Waiver of Board of Review Hearing Requests. I mentioned this previously, that if you aren't able to get that paperwork in a timely manner, you can submit a request to waive the requirement that you notified us 48 hours in advance. The instructions are here for this, and it's a procedure policy that we are required to have. Can I entertain a motion to move forward on this?
I'll make that motion to approve the waiver of board hearing request.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So I know, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is a lot of information to get posted, and most of you aren't gonna be able to read it at Tall Pines. You might be able to read it at Falkers unless somebody takes a copy. You will try to get as much of this posted on our board out there as you can. Not the best, but that's what we have right now. So that will be posted in the next day or so for you all to review. If you have an issue getting a copy of it, again, reach out to me. I would be happy to send you a scanned PDF of the document, or Brenda will. Okay, I'm gonna move on. MABUS. This is called the Mutual Aid Box Alarm System. Marquette County was, I think, one of only 6 counties in the state of Wisconsin that didn't have this system in place. And what it is it allows, for example, the Coloma situation, where there were so many fire departments called in. They used this MABUS system for putting out a call for anybody in the state who could appear and assist with that fire. The various fire departments in this area have applied to join that MABUS system. Because the Westfield Fire Department has already processed it, they have resolutions and other things in place. You can certainly look at the information on their website. I was told that former Fire Chief Mr. Johnson did attend a meeting where this was discussed, and he thought it was a very positive thing to move forward with. And so basically, this resolution, which is put in place, was adopted, designed by the state of Wisconsin, allows for us as a town of Westfield to make sure we're part of that area that is covered in the event of a major catastrophe, some other type of fire. And it's to the benefit of everyone in this town to have this system in place along with our services through the Westfield Fire Department. Board members have received this information in advance. I provided with them with information to, review online, and there's no cost to us at all to kind of add this to our repertoire of services to the citizens. Any discussion?
So you said that the agreement is online. You told me to go research it. So I went on to the village website. The only thing I could find on the village website was their copy of Addendum C. You have Addendum C that has to be attached to a signed contract. There is no signed contract available for us to review to see what we're attaching this addendum to. We don't have a fire department, so we are not in a position to have any influence on deployment of trucks or personnel to a fire. So we could do nothing with the fire up in Coloma. Mavis does nothing for us because we are not a fire department. We are not deploying any people. So this is only for municipalities that have a fire department. And I've talked to several fire chiefs, and they agree. Why do you do this? Because you don't have a fire department.
Our fire department actually is the Westfield Fire Department.
It is not.
Who provides our fire protection services. This is a benefit to all of us to have access to this service. Mavis was used for the Coloma fire, and it was successful. They had a list of, other departments that came in from quite a distance from here to assist with that fire.
The town of Westfield had nothing to do with
The town
it.
of Westfield has fire protection services. Please don't continue to go and spread this information that somehow we don't have fire services.
I didn't say
We
that. We
have
don't
fire protection services through the Westfield Fire Department.
We do not have a fire department.
As part of that, this addendum C attaches us to those services to make sure they are provided to the citizens of the town of Westfield.
To a contract that is not signed. There's no copy available.
Again, the village is part of this. I believe the contract was signed by Marquette County as a whole. And as area fire departments want to become part of this, the addendum C goes to mutual aid box alarm system agreement. This is just saying we are on board with having this service provided to our town.
If we want to know what's being provided to our town, we really should have a copy of the signed agreement that says this is what's going on. I have a copy of a standard contract that's used statewide or at a state level, but that doesn't tell me anything other than it says it'll be deploying people. If we should know what the Marquette County contract says.
The Marquette County's contract would be a duplicate of the contract that the state has designed.
I don't
The
believe
state has designed the contract itself.
I read this and it's
Carol,
not a duplicate of it.
I know, Carol, that you read everything, but this is a good thing for the citizens of the town to know that if there was a major catastrophe, major fire, that they would contact whoever in the state is able to respond. Not just Montello, not just Oxford, not just Newton, or any of these other departments.
This system has been in existence. Maybe this is the formal system. Current fire departments right now have that system informally. All of the Marquette County people, Marquette County departments work together to call for mutual aid. So when we had the fire over here, we didn't have Mavis, we had a fire over here on Ever Drive, mutual aid was called in. The village came in, Harris came in, the town of Newton came in. So we have that system in place now. We don't need to have an addendum saying we're going to go with Mavis if Mavis is not, if we can't even find out what the contract is.
I disagree, but your points are well taken. This goes beyond just a mutual aid that has a local fire department drive and respond to a call. This is bigger. And you might think it may never happen here. It happened to Coloma. And they relied on this additional service to contain that fire. So,
I make the motion to approve mutual aid box farm system agreement resolution number 2023-05.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Just to announce a couple meeting dates, I again will remind everyone that August 7th, the Board of Review hearings starts here in this building, 6 to 8 p.m. If more hearings are needed, we'll schedule additional dates as needed. August 21st would be the date of the next regular town board meeting at 7 p.m. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourns at 8:29 p.m. Thank you everyone for attending.